Hey guys, Shane here with Genesis Offroad. We're continuing our series where we're taking a deep dive look at our products and some of the technologies to give you guys a real baseline knowledge. So on this episode today, we are going to be talking about DC to DC chargers. What are they? Why do you need them? What is the difference between an onboard DC to DC charger and our Gen 3 PowerHub, which uses a smart battery combiner device? So to get into that conversation, today we've got my good friend Erich Ross here from RedArc Electronics. Erich, thank you so much for coming down to visit us today, man. We appreciate you coming in today.
Awesome, happy to be here.
Great. So I'm sure a lot of you guys recognize the RedArc truck here if you've been to any of the trade shows. RedArc is well known as the leading company in the DC to DC charger space. They also have a lot of other products for camper vans, sprinter vans, full-size RVs, boats, anything that needs electrical devices. So what we're going to be talking about today specifically is their line of DC to DC chargers, right? But before we get into, what is it? Why do you need it? What does it do for you? Erich, I'd love to hear just a little bit of a background on RedArc, and then we'll get into some of the charger details.
Awesome, yeah. Hey, RedArc is... We are an Australian company based out of Adelaide, Australia. We've been doing this type of stuff for over 40 years now.
Wow.
In the Australian market. Here in the U.S., it's been about 10 years now. We've been in the market. One of the cool things about RedArc that I really like to point out to people, we do all our own manufacturing in our own facility. So we're not sending things off to other countries and things to get our stuff built. We've got our own facility. It's tested. It's manufactured all in Australia.
That's great.
And I think that really brings a sense of quality to our product in the United States for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And we love that the Australians are known for making quality stuff. I know RedArc has been very popular with the overlanders and off-roaders in Australia for a very long time. I feel like here in the U.S., I've known about RedArc for a long time, but I think our customers are getting more and more familiar. We're starting to see more RedArc in the U.S. market. Is that what you guys have seen too, grow in the U.S. market?
Yeah, for sure. I think the overland scene in particular has really grown. I think since the COVID period. And people are really kind of getting excited about the off the grid experience.
Yeah.
And being able to not worry about power concerns, whether it be your refrigerator or your lighting or anything like that when you're out on a long trip. And again, the big piece of that is the quality of the products to make sure that, when you're out there, everything's going to work and it's going to work right for you. We are starting to grow a lot more into trailers and RVs and things like that here in the U.S. So a lot of different business segments that we're getting into the market in and getting our stuff out there quite a bit more.
Yeah, that's so cool, man. I know quality components is so important to us because you're out in the wilderness. You don't want to be able to rely on your equipment, right? So I think RedArc is known for a wide range of products from pure sine wave inverters. Now they have lithium batteries. You've got your bigger systems for the camper vans, like your Manager 30 and now the new Manager Alpha systems, right?
Right.
And those have a lot more features like onboard water tank monitoring and some extra features that we really can't fit into some of these smaller vehicles that we support. But what we want to talk about today is the onboard DC to DC chargers. Now, the original one, this was the original DC to DC charger, now known as the Classic series, right?
Yep.
But a lot of people are familiar with this as the BCDC 1225, and that's a whole lot of letters and numbers, but that just means it's a battery charger that runs on DC, and it's a 12-volt charger that puts out 25 amps.
Exactly.
That's what that part number means, right? So what does that mean? A DC to DC charger just means that it runs on DC power and it outputs DC power, right? Compared to your your normal battery charger that people are probably familiar with, that you plug into the wall in the garage and hook up the alligator clips to charge your lawnmower battery or your car battery in the garage. That's an AC charger, right? So we're talking DC.
Exactly.
So, Erich, I'd love to hear a little bit about, this classic charger has been around for a long time. I'd like to hear about why you guys came out with this brand new Alpha charger, and then tell us a little bit about the differences. What's new in it?
Awesome. Yeah. So we're pretty excited about this new charger coming out here. Listen, the BCDC Classic has been a bulletproof design and a staple of the DC to DC charging industry for many, many years now. But we had some new ideas we wanted to get out there, and we had some new functions that we felt were very important to get into the market, and the BCDC Alpha is going to bring some of those things. One of the things you'll notice right off the bat is instead of having the fixed wire harness on it, we now have actual bolt screw-in plates for all your wires. I'm going to make the wiring look a lot cleaner, and it's going to make it a lot easier. Another thing we've added to this new one, it does have Bluetooth capability, so you can use the RedArc Red Vision app, and you can see your current going in and out of your aux battery, and you can see your battery voltage.
Nice.
But the two big things that we're really excited about, this charger has the capability of recovering a dead start battery. So,
Okay.
We talked before about having quality components and having everything you need to survive out in the woods by yourself off the grid. The last thing we want to see happen is your start battery dies on you and you're kind of stuck out there. So you could put this into a recovery mode, and in 15 minutes, it'll give you enough charge back to your start battery to be able to get you started up and going again.
Now that's really cool. Now that's different than our Gen 3 PowerHub, which uses a combiner that links the batteries together. So our boost button will manually connect the batteries together in parallel to use the power from the second battery to help jumpstart the battery, your cranking battery, just like using jumper cables. But this is actually using power from the second battery to turn on the charger and then charge your cranking battery.
Exactly.
Now that's pretty clever.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a neat feature for sure. And with that capability now, we've also added another function on here. So one great thing about RedArc and our battery charge is you're getting 3 separate units in one box. So you've got your DC to DC charger, you've got an MPPT solar controller,
Right.
and your battery isolator, all built in this one unit. So if you're running a fixed solar panel now with the BCDC Alpha, when it senses that your start battery or your aux battery is fully charged, doesn't need anything, it's going to divert that solar power back into your start battery and keep your start battery topped off.
That's cool.
Two great protections for our start battery now through this unit, and we're really proud to get these out there and be able to add to what was already a completely bulletproof design into something that's just second to none for sure.
Yeah, and let's compare that to the original one here. So it's a slightly wider footprint, but a little bit smaller. But man, this thing feels really sturdy. I love this extruded aluminum case. So the whole case of this acts as a heat sink too.
Exactly.
Now this one doesn't get very hot, but it's got these great fins built into it that will dissipate any heat that it does generate. But it's not going to get hot to your touch. But especially the 25 amp version, the RedArc, you guys have the 50 amp version. That's a lot of current going through the box. So that one will get a little warm, right?
Yeah, it will. Especially in an engine bay, it's going to produce a little more heat. But the 25s, they'll get warm, but really not anything to be concerned about.
Yeah, that's great, man. That's such a nice heavy duty, compact form factor, and I really like the new connection points here for connecting lugs instead of the original pigtail coming out of the Classic.
Right.
That's a nice package.
Another good feature about both of these, both with the Classic and with the Alpha, inside the circuit board is completely potted. So resistant to water. And one big thing people don't think about, it's also going to help with vibrations. So you're out there in an off-road situation, putting hundreds of miles on your vehicle, bouncing around. Having a potted circuit board actually helps keep things from vibrating loose, things like that.
Yeah, so that potting, that means it's like a liquid, almost a silicone type of material that gets poured all over the circuit board,
Exactly.
right? And it helps hold all the components, and it helps dissipate the heat a little bit, but it seals the entire circuit board from water and dust and vibration, right?
Exactly, and that's one of the key points that makes these things suitable for under the hood applications. Is it's going to be well protected against water and dust.
That's so cool, man. You guys make such great products, and we're so glad to be able to work with you guys on this. So a lot of our customers know that our dual battery systems that we've been manufacturing here for a long time, we've been using a smart battery combiner device that links two batteries together in parallel. That just means your positive post to the positive post and the negative post of one battery to the negative post of the other, and they operate like one big battery. So, Erich, why don't we talk a little bit about the benefits and the limitations of both systems, right? So there's different use cases. So I want to make sure the customers out there understand the differences and the benefits of both of these systems, what you can do with it and what the limitations are. So with our original Gen 3 dual battery systems that we offer, it links the batteries together so that they can both be charged by the alternator. Now that's a super simple way to install two batteries, and it helps keep the price point down a little bit because the battery combiner is a pretty simple device. It's rock solid, reliable. It'll last forever. You know, we always say, like I think your products are the same way. We try to make products that will outlast your vehicle. I want your vehicle to rust and fall apart, and my stuff still keep running, right? So a smart battery device is simple, it's reliable, it's heavy duty, it can handle a lot of current flowing through it. It links the two batteries together so they operate like one big battery. Now, one of the benefits of that is you've got double the battery capacity to run everything in the vehicle while the batteries are connected. Now, when you stop at your campsite and the voltage starts to drop a little bit, it separates the batteries from each other and leaves one for cranking the engine, and you run all your accessories off the other. But while the engine is running, one of the benefits of that system is when you're combining the batteries together, you're distributing your demand across both batteries. So that means it's good for high amperage uses like running a winch. You're stuck in a mud hole, you got a really hard winch pull for a long distance. The winch can draw a tremendous amount of power, right? So a combiner device will link the batteries together, and that demand will be spread across two batteries rather than just one battery, and you drain that one battery down. Now you're stuck in a mud hole and you got a dead battery and you're just having a really bad day, right?
For sure.
So why don't you talk about the difference between a charger system? It doesn't link them together in parallel, right?
No, it's gonna keep the two batteries separated. You hit a lot of good key points on a basic isolator type system. It's very cost effective way. We've been doing it for years and years and years, and it's always worked in dual battery systems. Now as technology in vehicles is growing, we're getting into lithium batteries, things like that. A DC to DC charger starts coming into play to make sure that we're properly maintaining that auxiliary battery. Especially with the lithium battery, one of the things you're not going to get with a solenoid-based system is an actual proper charging profile. You're basically just going to get the amperage from the alternator straight into the battery.
Whatever voltage and amperage the alternator is putting out is what you get.
Exactly. Adding in a BCDC is going to give you a 3-stage charge. Now, you're going to have a boost, absorption, and float stage, all requiring different voltages and different amperages. This thing's talking to that aux battery, and the aux battery is telling it what it needs. You're going to get a proper charge every time, and that's really important for extending the life of your battery as well. Right. Getting that thing fully charged every time and making sure it's topped off. Another thing we don't think too much about, but a lithium battery takes a lot higher voltage than a standard battery to get it to a full charge. You need to get into 14.5, 14.6 to get it. A lot of alternators aren't going to be able to produce that much voltage to get that thing fully topped off.
Right, to get it fully topped off. Now, that's a good point that I always like to reinforce with our customers is that, yes, your vehicle's alternator can and will charge your batteries, but that's not its main job, right? Your alternator's main job is to be an electricity generator to power everything in the vehicle while the vehicle is running. Because the OEM car makers, they design that alternator to run the engine, to run the stereo, to run all your lights, to run all the electronics in the vehicle. And yes, it will charge a battery, but that's not its main job. So this device, or the Alpha's device, its main job is to charge that battery as efficiently as possible.
Exactly. And another point, we talked about earlier, a lot of the newer vehicles are coming with a variable voltage alternator, and that's going to make charging an aux battery difficult for a couple of reasons. One of the things is when your start battery is fully charged and you don't have a lot of load going on in the vehicle, it's going to tell the alternator to reduce its workload. It's going to reduce its voltage. And now if you're trying to charge a second battery, the alternator doesn't know that. And you're not going to get what you think you're getting while you're driving around. It's not going to be charging like it should be. And you're going to find yourself in a lot of positions where, hey, I've been driving for 8 hours. Why is my battery not charged?
Right. We ran into that same situation with our Gen 3 PowerHub. We had customers that were reporting, hey, I've been driving across the country all day long. I've got the fridge running in the back. And when I get to where I'm going, it looks like the aux battery is drained down and my fridge cuts off. What is going on here? Well, it's because I think the variable output alternators, that's all part of this EPA stuff to try to save you a couple of drops of gas, right? So when the alternator sees your battery is topped off, or in our case, when the batteries are linked together, both of them are topped off, the alternator says, hey, your batteries are full. I don't need to keep pumping more power into it. It'll turn down its output so that the alternator can kind of free spool and save 1 or 2 horsepower, right, on the drive belt. And then when it drops that voltage down, then the combiner would say, oh, I see the voltage dropped. I'm going to separate the batteries off. Now you're driving down the road, the alternator's putting out 12.5, 12.4, which is normal now, and the secondary battery isn't getting charged.
Exactly.
So that's why on our Gen 3 PowerHub, we had that engine on sensor cable option that tells the combiner, hey, while the engine is running, do not separate the batteries. So that's what that engine on sensor cable is for. But I understand your device has a similar feature, right, that can detect the engine is running, but it also has that similar feature where you can add on that engine sensor as well. You want to talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah, exactly. This unit has a place where you can put in an ignition hot wire. So this is going to tell it when to turn off and when to turn off, which is really important for variable voltage alternators. If you don't use the ignition, it'll just internally sense via voltage whether it should be turned on or turned off.
Right.
Now, if you're driving with a variable voltage alternator, it drops that off. It thinks the vehicle's shut off. It's going to stop charging.
Right.
By using the ignition lead, now you're telling it when you want it to turn on, when you want it to turn off, based on if the vehicle's running or not.
So the vehicles that we support, we see that needed on the new Wranglers and the new Gladiators, because they will drop their voltage quite low, down in the lower 12-volt range.
Right.
So that's below that threshold where it turns off.
Right.
Is there any other vehicles that you see that's a real concern? I think the Toyotas, most of the Toyotas that we've had experience with don't drop their voltage quite that low. Is that what you've seen?
Yeah. The Toyotas so far we haven't seen any issues with. Primarily, it's been the Jeeps that we see this most with the voltage kind of all over the board.
Yeah, where it drops it more than other vehicles do. But you just want to check your vehicle. You know, if you notice that your vehicle is putting out less than about 12.7 while it's running, you would want to use that ignition hot to keep the charger on.
For sure. Yep.
Yeah. So I think if you want to run a lithium battery in the vehicle as your accessory battery, lithium batteries are still expensive. So most people want to just run one. So we've had customers asking us, hey, can I run a lithium battery with your dual battery system? And up to this point, the answer has been no, because number one, because there hasn't been any lithium batteries that are suitable for underhood duties, underhood temperatures, cranking duties. So what we've got now is a new system that is compatible with a lithium battery in our existing battery trays. We are going to be using, this battery here is from Dakota Lithium. Now this one is their 135 amp hour battery that is suitable for cranking duties and deep cycle, and can handle the higher ambient temperatures under the hood. So what we've got here, Eric, is our original battery tray. This one here is for the Jeep JL and Gladiator. We've got a new lid here that is designed to make it super simple to install your classic charger or your alpha charger.
Right.
So what we've got in this system is a bracket that's going to hold either your classic or your alpha charger right up here over the factory fuse box, and then a short cable will come over and plug into a port on this new system. We're calling this the Omega system.
Nice.
So you're going to start off with the alpha charger, and the last component that you need to get it installed is the Omega lid, the Omega system. So kind of the beginning of the end of what you need to get it installed.
Very cool.
So you're going to have a single cable that will come over and plug into a port here, and all of the wiring is done for you. You're not going to have to touch wire strippers. You're not going to have to read a wiring diagram. All this wiring is completely done for you out of the box. You got individual wires that go to the positive and negative on your accessory battery, and positive negative on your cranking battery, and that's it. There's no other wiring for you to do. So we just wanted to take what you guys are already doing and just make it easy to install.
Awesome. Yeah. And hey, there's definitely a need for something like this out there. We get asked all the time, do we make a drop-in dual battery kit? And this is going to be great. I think it's going to be really popular for especially the Jeep guys. I think that's mainly what we get a lot of questions about. But yeah, there's definitely going to be some excitement around this one.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. You know, that's our kind of our whole value proposition, right? Is we're taking the best in class products and just making them easy to install. We're giving you the platform to mount the batteries. We're doing all the wiring for you, where it just plugs right in and away you go. So this system is available now, and we're just super thrilled to be working with you guys on launching this kit with one lithium and one AGM battery. So today, the only thing on the market as of the time of this recording that it will fit our battery trays and is suitable for the underhood temperatures is this particular battery from Dakota Lithium. Now, we're going to be keeping an eye on I think the lithium battery market is changing rapidly. I know RedArc is coming out with your own line of lithium batteries, and I'm excited to see what you guys are doing with that. You know, maybe we can find a way to use those for a remotely mounted battery system instead of the under the hood. But for the vehicles that we support, you know, some of the smaller Jeeps and Toyotas, you know, we like to keep the batteries under the hood, just keeps it as compact as possible, minimizes the wiring, and leaves all the storage space in the back for the rest of your gear.
Sure.
So a couple of scenarios where you would want to choose this. If you want to use a lithium battery, there's lots of benefits of lithium, right? A lithium battery, just like your cell phone, you can drain that battery all the way down till it's completely depleted and then charge it all the way back up. And you can do that a couple thousand times, right?
Exactly.
So lithium batteries, you can get all of the capacity out of them. Whereas an AGM battery, you can drain them down low, but the more you do that, the fewer cycles you're going to get out of it. That's the main limitation. I think there's some misconception about that.
Another thing to consider on that, with a standard type AGM lead acid battery, as you're using the battery and its stated charge is going lower, there is a voltage curve happening there,
right,
and you're getting less voltage. Where your lithium battery has much less of a curve, it's going to keep its voltage almost all the way till the end, which is a huge benefit for sure.
Yeah, and the easy way to kind of relate to that is if you're using your cell phone, right? You're using your cell phone all day, you're talking on the phone, you're watching videos, you're using the maps. And when that phone gets down to 3% battery remaining, you're still using all the functions on it. It's still working. The AGM batteries, the voltage will start to taper off, and your lights start to go dim, your fridge may cut off. You still got some capacity in it, but the voltage drops, and the lithiums have a much flatter voltage line all the way until it's dead.
Exactly.
So that's important if you want to run stuff like your fridge overnight, your heating blankets, your camp lights, that kind of stuff for an extended period of time. You're going to be able to run those things longer on the same size of a lithium battery, right, than an AGM. AGM batteries are really good at handling high output, high amperage demands, like running a winch, high output stuff like big stereo systems. Lithium doesn't really like high amperage loads on them. They're really good at lower to medium amperage demands, right?
Correct.
For extended periods of time.
Exactly.
But so if you're going to be running a lot of high amperage stuff, big stereo systems, you know you're planning on running that winch and you want extra battery capacity for running the winch, choose the combiner system. If you're running several camping accessories, even kitchen accessories, your coffee pots, heating blankets, some low voltage, some area lights around your campsite to just give you a night light, charging your phone in your rooftop tent, those types of things, lithium is a great option for that, right?
Exactly. You know, another thing I hear more and more questions about, a lot of people have to wear a CPAP at night. And when you're out camping, it's kind of well, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You know, so that's another thing to think about. The lithium batteries are great for powering.
Yeah, keep it powered all night long.
Exactly.
And not cutting off at 5 a.m. because your voltage dropped.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's great. So another thing about picking which system you want to use, if you want to use one lithium battery and one AGM battery, you got to have an onboard DC-DC charger, because the combiner system, you don't want to mix battery types, because combining a lithium and an AGM battery in parallel can lead to reducing the lifespan of both of them because they charge differently.
Exactly.
Right. So if you want to run mixed battery types, you got to have an onboard battery charger. Right.
Correct. Yeah, as the dissimilar batteries discharge, they're going to discharge at different rates, and they're going to recharge at different rates too. So you're never really going to know exactly what's going on with the two batteries when you have them linked together.
So I think a couple of other scenarios where you would want to figure out which one is right for me. Right? I think it comes down to, what do you want to do with your vehicle in your situation? How are you using your vehicle? What kind of accessories do you want to run on your vehicle? The smart battery combiner device in our Gen 3 PowerHub is rock solid reliable. You've got the onboard, the built-in bus bars for hooking up your accessories. It handles all that for you. It's simple to install. It's relatively speaking inexpensive. All this stuff is expensive. You know, if you're getting into this, is not an inexpensive hobby.
Oh, for sure.
Right. We don't want to say expensive. We don't want to say cheap, but none of this stuff is inexpensive. But there's different price points and different features, right?
Sure.
Yeah, and then our Gen 3 PowerHub has our remote monitoring system, our little 1-inch LCD screen that you can put inside on the dash to keep an eye on the status of the isolator, the voltage on the batteries. The new Alpha system has a really great app for your smartphone where you can keep an eye on that stuff and even get alerts on voltage settings and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You can keep an eye on your temperature and voltage settings on your batteries. I think that's really cool. The RedArc Red Vision app for your smartphone is super simple, very easy to set up. I've gone through and linked it to the Alpha charger. I think the days are over nowadays of, man, I can't get this Bluetooth to link up. Why does this keep dropping and all this kind of stuff? It was super easy to set up the Bluetooth app. It looks very simple. You guys did a great job on the app too.
Yeah, thanks. It's a great app. It's the same app that we use on the larger systems with your distribution, things like that. So just having that ability to see what's going on with your battery at any one time is really important. The days of being left in the dark on how much battery do I have left are over. And that's another one of the reasons why we have came out with this new charger as well, so that we can get that ability to see what's going on with our battery at any given time.
Yeah, so if that's important to you, if you like those smartphone features, if you like those Bluetooth monitoring features, pick the Alpha. If you want to save a buck or two, the classic charger, we're going to continue supporting the classic charger. This one has you'll be able to select on our website the classic charger with the same plug-in that'll plug right into the Omega system. The Alpha system will have the same type of plug. The wiring harness is identical. It just plugs right in for no wiring for you to do. So, you know, I think the classic charger is rock solid and proven, and it's still going to be rocking and rolling and lasting you for a long time. If you want some of those advanced features like the monitoring and being able to charge your cranking battery, that reverse charging, that's when you would choose the Alpha charger, right?
Yeah, yeah. And this charger wasn't meant to replace the BCDC Classic. That's a bulletproof design. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
We just wanted to get some new features added for those kind of looking for that. But yeah, that thing is still just an absolute tank of a piece of equipment. It's always going to work for you. Set it and forget it type electronics there.
Yeah. So I wouldn't have any reservations on picking this one and running this one for a long time. But if you want some of those advanced features, you know, go with the Alpha charger. Yeah. So if you want to use that feature to charge your cranking battery, if it gets depleted for some reason, you can either use the button that's built in right on top of the Alpha charger, or you can turn that feature on right from the app. So if you get in and go to start the engine and your cranking battery is dead for whatever reason, you don't even have to get out and hit the button under the hood. You can just turn on the charging feature and wait we said it'll charge it for about 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Using the power from the auxiliary battery to run the charger to charge the cranking battery.
Correct. Yeah. So that's called recovery mode.
Recovery mode.
Yep. And you can either do it via the switch on the unit itself or through the app. So like you said, it's super convenient. You don't even have to get out of the vehicle to put that into recovery mode, which is great in a lot of situations where, you know, it's cold outside, it's snowing, it's raining, things like that.
Yeah.
You've got everything at your fingertips to operate the system.
Yeah. You know, we talk about the same thing with our combiner-based system. We have the boost switch under the hood that you can press to manually link the batteries together in parallel, and that works just like jumper cables. But if you're, you know, so it's linking the batteries together like jumper cables to help jump start the engine, but this is actually charging the battery.
Exactly.
That's really cool. Well, hopefully this gives you guys a closer look at not only the RedArc system, but also understanding why you would pick a charger-based system over our Gen 3 PowerHub isolator-based system. But if you guys have questions, if there's anything we didn't cover here about your scenario, again, we want to make sure that you get the right kit for your application. Shoot us an email, give us a call. We'd be happy to talk to you, answer your questions. Come see us at some of the trade shows. RedArc is out there on the show circuit all the time, and we love going to see you guys at the shows. If this video was helpful to you, please hit that like button. That really helps us out. And be sure to subscribe to our channel so you can see more helpful tech tip videos and how to get the most out of your systems. And Erich, thank you very much for coming in to see us today. We appreciate you coming down.
Thanks, really appreciate it. And we're really excited to be working together on this project.
Thank you so much, Erich. Thanks, guys. See you next time.